Welcome to your Daily Writing Habit, episode number 350. If you're writing a book or thinking about it or trying to finish a book you've started, or maybe you need help reaching more people to let them know about your book, you are in the right place. Good morning. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh, also known as Christine Inc., I-N-K. Each day I'm sharing with you the writing habits I've learned over my 18 years as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author. I have found that 3 things in particular have a huge impact on your success as an author, and they have the ability to turn a, air quotes, non-author into a published author. They are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits. Here's today's quote. "The writer's curse is that even in solitude, no matter its duration, he never grows lonely or bored." Chris Jamie. Sound familiar about that solitude? I thought that was an interesting quote for the times that we're in now. And speaking of that, I coined a new term this week when I was working with my authors. I'm personally as busy as ever helping people write books, so that's pretty exciting. But the phrase I coined is post-pandemic paradigm shift, or PPPS. Because as authors and chronic observers, we are always looking down the road, curious about the next chapters of the evolution of the human story, right? So realizing the enormity of the current shift that we're in, one that hits everything from survival instincts to how we live, work, interact with each other, to finding our way in a new economy. And for many, this time in isolation has created valuable time for self-reflection, reevaluation, and all sorts of other things, usually, left for New Year's Eve. This kind of is like New Year's Eve to the nth degree for many people, I'm sure. For those observing, the current and future shifts are all around us. So back to my new phrase, post-pandemic paradigm shift. I love just coming up with new words, right? Author thing, right? I actually came up with it in reference to several client book projects I'm working on. Working with my authors in the past week or so, I began seeing a new layer to their book ideas. A layer that asks the question, when we emerge from this event and come out on the other side, how will my book idea become even more relevant? Or how will it change? Or, what else is there to it? How will it evolve because of this event? And of course, I'm not going into specifics of those layers because of client confidentiality. I will tell you, though, some of the answers to the question are fascinating. And for my part, my job that was already pretty awesome in the first place, helping people write books that make a difference, just totally hit a whole new level that we're having these kind of mind-blowing realizations. And my clients and I, when we're working together and saying, wow, because of, this aspect of the pandemic or this aspect of social isolation or this aspect of how business is being disrupted, wow, I just thought of a whole new thing for my book. So such exciting times for creative people, I'll tell you that. I mean, it's quarantine, but it's not creative quarantine. There's a lot going on here. So, of course, what about you? Are you sensing the shift happening with so many things in our lives and work and perspectives bound to change, even slightly on the other side of this world-changing event? These are the opportunities, quite honestly, that authors dream about. Not for nothing, guys, but Shakespeare, Hemingway, F. Scott Fitzgerald, they would really probably love to trade places with us about now. Because, they knew about, these are authors, there's been stories going around the internet how, the books that they wrote when they were in quarantine, they know they're old-timey quarantines, but, we have tons more people and technology and an already rapidly changing, constantly disrupted workforce and economy. So I feel like there's just a lot more moving parts in our quarantine. Nothing against their quarantine, but I think our quarantine is much cooler for authors. Just saying. So what are you observing? What are you documenting about the world, but also about your thoughts, your ideas, your perspectives? What post-pandemic paradigm shifts are you predicting? And when I say that, I mean from your story, your area of expertise, your ideas and messages, the things that either you've written about in your books or you're planning to write about in books. How will the post-pandemic paradigm shift, who we are as a world on the other side of this, how will that affect and impact and maybe even make more exciting your already existing or future book ideas? Because authors, not only do we finally get to stay home, do nothing, and write, but it's also socially acceptable. So let's use this time. And we're literally surrounded by story ideas. So like I said, Shakespeare, you little jelly there, little jealous there, Hemingway and all those guys, because we got a lot to work with here. So I'm excited to hear about, whatever you want to call it. I mean, this is my dorky little phrase, post-pandemic paradigm shift, but whatever, just like the new layer of ideas that this world event, this shift in the world has added to your books. Please chime in my Inc. authors group on Facebook and just let me know what you think about this whole conversation. But, and if you feel like sharing things, or even just questions you have, like, here's what my book is about. I don't know how it's going to change. What are your thoughts? Open it up to the group. Love our community there. Inc. Authors on Facebook. Thank you for joining me here on Your Daily Writing Habit, where I am helping you write and finish writing an awesome book. And thank you so much for being here. And I hope you're enjoying this, especially maybe a distraction during these times, but I hope I'm somehow serving and being of value here. And like I said, I would love for you to drop by Inc. Authors, even just to say hello and let us know how you're all doing. Until tomorrow, happy writing.